right?
Better to start from the beginning.
Okay, sure. Hi everyone, this is a small demonstration on command line interface in Python of Apache Stratos. And about Python CLI, it's a lightweight alternative of Apache Stratos Java CLI. And today's flow is like this. I first talk about how to install CLI, and then how to configure, and finally the how it works, how we can use it, and then let's dive into architecture bit, how I have coded it, and finally the demo. Actually, um, we have two methods, two ways to install the CLI. One is from the source code and one is from the package manager. Um, uh, from the source code, we can change directory to the components, and from there we can go to the Python CLI's component folder, and then from there we can issue the Python command Python setup.py build. It will then build the source uh, into runnable program, and then we can install using the command python setup.py install. But as if you want to develop the CLI, we have to use the option develop. The difference is when we use develop, we don't have to install again and again when we are coding, when we're developing it. It will automatically do this stuff for us. And the other way is using the package manager. Uh, for that, we can use the pip package manager of Python. We just have to say pip install Stratos, and it will download the distributions and install it to your system. And from there, you will be able to run the Stratos CLI from anywhere, not just from the place that you the place you have the pods. Uh, Before running, we usually have to set the environment variables, the Stratos URL, but by default I'm getting the URL as localhost 9443. But in any case, if we're not using that URL, we can change giving the setting the environment variable Stratos URL as whatever it is. And if we don't want to give the username and password again and again, we can set them as environment variables. We can set the Stratos username, and I'm very sorry I have put the URL here, but it should be Stratos password. We can set the username and password, and then when we start the CLI, it will automatically log us into the CLI without asking the username and password. Uh, how to start the Stratos CLI is using this command Stratos CLI. Actually, it's better if I can show you how it starts, but the thing is that Hangout I have to show that again. Therefore, I show just in the demonstration, in the demo.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, Milindu. I have
Yeah.
one question regarding the
Yeah.
pip install. So
Uh-huh.
you have given the name as Stratos, right?
Yes.
So the thing is, like, we might be working with multiple versions of Stratos at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
there can be multiple versions of Stratos CLI as well. So
Uh-huh.
if you do pip install Stratos, so then rather either we need to install the latest version or like
Yes, with this command it install the latest version, but in pip we have a way to set the versions,
okay.
and uh, there's I think there should be option where we to download a specific version.
Right, okay, then it's fine.
Yeah, another question regarding that. So we say pip install Stratos. So I think we should change it to pip install Stratos CLI or something like that, because it doesn't install the
Hmm.
Stratos
Yes.
server.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I do agree. Then let's change it. Then let's change it to a Stratos CLI.
yeah, great.
Um,
And
um,
another
yes.
question, Mridul,
Yeah.
what does this Python setup? So when you say Python, some Python file name, what it does is it executes the Python file, right? So you're
Yes.
passing another
Yes.
parameter which might be build, install, or develop.
Yes.
What does it do?
Actually, setup file is a kind of a special file. Uh,
Oh, okay.
what it does is it is the one who install and build and distribute and do everything in a Python package. I think most of all of the packages usually do have this setup file. We can define how it should be named, and the license files, the author details, and everything. And the Python knows how to handle it, and get the details from this setup.py, and do the do the building and installing.
Okay. So what does develop mean? It set up the development environment.
No, actually, if we are changing the code, we have once we change the code, we have to install it again. But if we are using the option develop instead of install, uh, Python will automatically handle that. We can change the code, and automatically it will be reflected in Stratos CLI without again giving the Python setup.py install.
All right. Okay.
Unless when we do a change, we have to say again build and install.
Uh-huh. So if you say develop, it
Yes.
will fetch from it will run from the Python file itself.
Yes, it will directly learn from the source.
Oh, okay. Right. Great.
Uh, any other questions? Okay, let's move on. Um, yeah, operations. That means how we can use. Um, as in Java CLI, we have all the commands that the Java CLI had, and we are using tables and trees to show the outputs. Um, Actually, it have four main methods of showing. The first one is usual one-line print, and the other one is this kind of a table. The other is the tree-like structure, where we can show details in the parent-child way. And the other one is we can show a JSON output in a prettified way. You can see it. I'll show you how we can see these all these four type of outputs later in the demonstration. Um, a bit of architecture. Actually, I have divided my code into several parts like main, py, the CLI, the utils, Stratos. Actually, it's, and the configurations and login. Uh, actually, main py is the one who handles everything, and what it does is it calls the CLI loop, the interactive mode, and CLI py has all the commands there. It takes the arguments options, and it checks if they are in the correct way, and then it calls the Stratos specific commands. What Stratos does is it calls the Stratos REST API and fetch the data, and hand over to the CLI again. And in CLI, we are using the utils to generate tables, the JSON prettified outputs, or the tree structure, and then through the main py we are sending the output back to the bash. And for login purposes, we are using the login file. The login file has all the codes related to login, and the config file has the configurations like it is the one who raised the environment variables and get the values, and it's the one who's holding the hard-coded values like the API link for Stratos is hard-coded as API followed by the Stratos URL fetched from the environment variable. Likewise, and mm, any questions there?
I think this is good. Thanks.
No, yeah.
It's good. Okay. Um, to the demo. Give me a moment to switch the handout to my bash. Yep. So let's see. Now I'm on desktop, but I'm still able to run the Stratos CLI from there because we install it through through the Python install, and now it's asking me for username and password. I'm giving them, and here I'm typing the password, but it does not show me typing. We have hidden the input to make sure that no one would see how many characters are there in your password. This is the usual way in most of the Linux programs, and now I'm successfully authenticated, and now I can give commands like list users, and I can say list cartridges. I'll show uh, some things like this. We can use autocomplete using the tab key. When I press the tab, I can see the command automatically completes, and this applications, because when I tap the tab key twice, I can see the possible commands that I could give. Let's say list, and I can see list command like this, and let's describe a cartridge called PHP. I can see the description of this cartridge, and I can describe tenant. I have to tell the tenant. If I haven't given the correct option or the arguments, it shows me the usage, how I should pass the commands, how I should pass the options. Um, say I want to add a user, but I don't know what are the options I have to give. I can say help, and it shows me how to use this add user in the options followed by the arguments. I can give I can see the options that I have to provide here. Um, shall we try adding a user? Let's add someone called, the username for the user that we are going to create would be, let's say, Millie, and should it be, and the role would be, and email would be and the profile would be, and I have successfully added the user. Let's list the users, and yes, I can see immediately here, and I can remove this user, saying remove user. Yes, I have removed the user. One thing I missed, we can traverse through the history using up and down arrow keys, like in most of the CLI programs, which help us to, which gives us ability to easily give commands, and some other features that because we are using CMD2 framework, we are getting some other options like this. We can give shell commands directly from the Stratos CLI. Um, like we have to proceed it by the exclamation mark, and then we can tell the command. One option I really like is clear, and it clears the CLI. We can give any command like ls, anything. Uh, and since we are written, the CLI is written on Python, we can give Python commands also, like print. uh, I
Cool,
think, yeah.
cool feature.
Thank you. Um, let's try something like getting a payload from a file and adding it to the the CLI, the Stratos. Let's try to add a cartridge. Add card. For that, I have to give the resource path of the payload. Um, I have a payload on my desktop, and I'll say payload. Uh, yes, the cartridge is successfully. I have added an Node.js cartridge. Let's the cartridges, and yes, here you can see the knowledge card is added. Um, I think it is. This is the basics, the usages of the interactive mode. Let's try the single command mode also. The same way I can say Stratos CLI, and I I have to say the command list users, and I have to tell the username of me and my password.
What if it is exported?
Yeah, we could really export it like uh, and Stratos admin, and now I can log into Stratos CLI without giving the username and password. Yes, and without giving the username and password. Yes. um, now we got the output to the terminal, but if we want to redirect this output to a file or pipe it to some other program, we can do it in this single command line mode. We can redirect this to let's say Strato output txt, and yes, now we did not see the output because we really redirected the output to this Stratos output.text. Let's see that. You can see the output here. We can even use grep also. Use, like this using the pipe grep. Let's say like this. Um, I think yes, we can run shell. We can write a script and run them using this single command line mode. I have a file called script.sh which contains several commands. I'm setting the username password and then I'm saying list users and list tenants. Let's try this also script.sh and yes, I can see the output there. I think that's it for the demo. Will any other question? Any question?
Yeah. So great stuff, Millennium. So can you also show output of a tree view?
Actually, uh, I have implemented the tree structure, but I asked in the community also that which output should really show the tree, but still I could not figure out which command should really output a tree.
Yeah.
But
For example, say you are printing a topology, uh, where anywhere that you have a tree kind of a data structure, we can use it. Right?
yeah, I can show it anyway because I have implemented the code. I have checked it also.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but
Can you execute view topology somewhere?
uh,
How do you display it at the moment? Is it in JSON?
let's see this. Describe. Let's try applications. Uh, no, I have to sell the name. Let's say this. No, describe. Oh, this.
If you have deployed the application, then you can describe the application runtime.
Uh, well, yeah, I'll describe Kubernetes cluster. Um, this is the JSON output that currently shows. Um, we can change this to free mode if you give me a few minutes because I can change this to a free like view if you want.
Yeah, maybe you might not need to do it now. So if you can do it in few seconds, it's okay. But otherwise, you can do it later.
Yeah, give me a moment. I'm sure I can do it. Moment, I will start with this first.
It's okay, Milidu. You can do it later on.
Yeah, I guess if it's only a matter of figuring out which outputs to map to the tree view, and then the display logic is already implemented, I guess we could
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
demo that later.
Okay.
Millie, quick question. If you can view the help of add user command, yeah, here, so username and password means it will be the user and username and the password of the user who is calling this command, and the
Yes.
username user will be the user who you are going to add, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So here it would be better if you can, uh, because of the description says username of the user in both places, so you can,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, we might need to improve this the help.
Documentation.
Come.
yeah,
Yes.
that's a minor thing.
Yeah.
And why do we need to give the username of the user? I mean, you have already logged in, right? So you are adding a user.
Yeah, it's for
Uh,
the inline thing, right? So this,
yes.
I think it's related to non-interactive mode
Similar
also.
command and mode.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Vinod,
Yes.
so you showed the auto completion with the commands. So
Yes.
does it work for the parameters also, like email, last name?
No, still not. Maybe we can add it as an improvement later.
Okay. The other thing is, can you show again the describe cartridge with an example? Let's say in PHP. Uh, yeah, like does it contains the image name, or
Sorry.
does it contains the image name, or like normally cartridge contains the image name?
Uh, no. What I did is I checked the Java CLI's output and get everything from there. Uh, does the
I
Java
think
CLI has the imaging?
yeah, the name here is not the image name, right? It's the display name, as I remember in the cartridge JSON.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is, Milind, like so it's okay, but let's say like how it is easy to like if we to extend, like let's say we want to show some additional information like image name or any other which is available in the JSON, which will
Mm-hmm.
come in the API API call.
Yes.
So if you want to like display some additional info, so we have
Mm-hmm.
to do some modification, like so
Yes.
like the table structure. So how
Mhm.
easy it is to extend this thing?
Actually, it's just changing one line. Shall we move to the codes? Then I can explain it easily.
Okay.
have here. Can you see? My code?
Yeah, I can see.
Let's say we want to describe Kubernetes cluster, and let's see something like this cartridge. Here we can see the print details of the cartridge, and if we want to show something else, we can simply change the JSON property name of that, and it will be shown. So it's just copy and paste in one line.
Okay, great.
The other commands created a set of printing methods. This is printable table. That is the one which is printing the tables, and to that I can add rows and finally print. And I have a print tree, a printable tree, and printable JSON, which prettify the JSON and print, and this table. So if you want really switch between these printing methods, we can simply use these utils and change the way it shows the output. This Stratos file, which I told earlier, contains all the commands that related to calling the RESTful service. I have generalized the request making process. I have created the method called get, and post for making the posts request, and put for put request, and delete for delete request. What I have to tell is the resource name, and I have to give the additional additional the payload if it's a post request. And if we look into this get request, what I am doing is I'm appending the resource name to the Stratos API URL, and then I'm sending the configuration, the username and password also. And here, what I'm doing, I have created I have generalized the response handling into this response command. It checks the the status code, and it responds according to the status code. If it's a 200, it sends the JSON that it got from the server. If it's a 201 or 200 true, it says the resource has created successfully, or it had updated successfully. Then I'm sending the flag true. If it's an error, what I'm doing is if it's a for node, say there are two type of errors which I could get. That is, one is handled error, which the Stratos server sends the error. The other one is that if the client cannot connect to the server, then we usually get a for node for that. I'm checking all the status codes above the 400, and if it does not have a message from the server, I'm telling it could not connect to the server unless if you have really received a message from the server. What I'm doing is I am throwing an exception which contains this message and the status code. With this error, I can catch that error, and what I'm doing is I'm printing the error which I got from the server to the client, which makes sure that even if the output of the server sends change, we don't have to change the CLI, because it will automatically reflect the change here. And even when extending the commands, we can simply use the same thing. and we don't have to hard code the outputs in the code. And in the config file, this is the one which get the environment variables and do contains all the constants like the how the Stratos prompt should be, the Stratos log file likewise, um, and this is main is the one who's actually running. I am calling the CLI from here. Before calling, I'm checking. I'm prompting for the credentials, the username and password, and once I could authenticate the user, I'm uh, opening the see the interactive mode. Any questions?
Milindo,
Yes.
what happens if you got a 404?
Uh, actually, 404 is there could be two ways we could get the 404. One is if the service down, what the HTTP usually gets a 404 because the client could not connect to the server. Other 404 is that if the resource we are looking for is not there, the server sends a 404 with a meaningful message. And for that kind of in that case, I'm showing the message. I'm actually creating a exception and giving the message which I got from the server. And if it's not that case, which means if the service is down or the link is wrong, I'm creating the same. I'm raising the same exception and giving the messages could not connect to the Stratos server.
Okay. Okay, Milindo. I thought in 404 you always show the would not connect to server because there's a possibility that Stratos API also send the 404 when the resource is not found.
Yeah. It's good you asked. Any other question?
So I also see a folder called test. So did you write it?
Yes. Yeah. I tried using test with response which mocks the Stratos server. Actually, because when testing, I should know how many applications it sends, or what are the expected output from the RESTful service. For that, I'm using this package called responses, which is a mock for request package, which I'm using to make request to the RESTful service. I'm actually checking the utils that I have written for getting the for get HTTP get HTTP post. Likewise, I'm checking the 200, the HTTP 200, 400, 500 likewise. I'm using um, PyTest PyTest package to run these tests. Yeah. Mm,
So how does it validate Milito?
um, well, if it's a get request and it's a 200, I'm sending uh, I'm sending a JSON file. The very same way the server sends a JSON file. I'm making making a request and check if the response I got is the is what I'm really expecting. and if it's a if it's a 400 error that I'm expecting, I'm calling the method and I'm asserting if it traces the bad response error exception. Likewise, I'm checking all the possible exceptions that I could get.
So it doesn't test the CLI command, right?
Um, well, actually, one problem I came across is there is no better tool to read the CLI output and check it. There were two frameworks which I could use, but one was deprecated and the other one it seems it's not maintained well. I was thinking what to do actually. I'm trying at the moment. I'm trying if I can change the PyTest code, and if I can read the std out from it, then I'll be able to check the output that I'm getting on the terminal.
Okay, so one thing we can do is like we now have some integration tests inside
Mm-hmm.
products, Stratos, modules, integration folder.
Mm-hmm.
So there what we do is we do REST API calls using an
Mm-hmm.
HTTP client.
Uh,
So in that, we can integrate another test or
mm-hmm.
an integration test to use the CLI to talk to the server. So there what we do is we start the server with the mock IIS and then
Mm-hmm.
run some deploy some artifacts and then assert them.
Ah,
So that we can do using the CLI.
CLI. Right. That's I think that would solve a problem.
Yeah.
I'll try doing that.
Okay, great. So then it would test both the CLI and also the server function.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're using request module, right, to talk to the server?
Yes.
Okay. So great work. So anything else you want to present?
Mm, no, I think that's it.
Okay, great. So Chamila, you want to add anything?
I think we're good. I guess we have a little bit of details to figure out to actually like complete and say this project is done. But other than that, I think Melinda has done great. Yeah. What do the other guys think on the team?
Yeah, so I think it is a very good project because
Thank you.
I I I feel like this can be very user friendly than what we have now, because even so I myself has felt if I can check what are the files that I have in the current folder. So that's like a small thing, but that adds a huge value on the perspective of user experience. So that's like one side that we can see in Python. So not only the status commands that you can run other different stuff, and I think this is a very good start, and we can improve these two with a lot of functions to be a great tool. So yeah, thanks and very good work. Congrats.
Thank you.
If I can add one little thing, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
Melinda mentioned this. Melinda, I remember you mentioning that this is compatible both in Python 2.7 and 3.
Yeah. while coding, I try my best to make sure it works on both Python 2 and Python 3.
Okay, so that's good news, I guess, because it will be more easier to maintain the code.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to drop out. Thanks for having me. See you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks for coming,
Yeah,
Lilo.
bye.
Beautiful. Yeah. And so, shall we wrap up? Any
Yes.
questions or anything ideas you have?
Yes. So, as I would like to add something more. So the code
Uh-huh.
also written really good. So I saw you have added
Thank you.
method comments and have focused on very little things. So really good to see the code in such a good standard also. So
Thank
thank you
you.
very much, Melinda. So very good job. So we'll finalize the project and then
Yeah.
wrap it up. Great.
Okay. Mm, anything else? Uh, or shall we wrap up?
Yeah, I think so. Great. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining with me for this, and good luck everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Manil.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks.